Goosebumps is rated Y because it may be too spooky for kids.
Hello, Goosebumps fans. Let's talk about another spin-off. Might be the last one. And this spin-off is very easy. What happened to the other Matt? It's like, yeah, with all the ones that he's teleporting into, the real question is, where are the people he's transporting his mind into? Where did they go? So it's like, does that mean that he's basically affecting everyone else too? Yeah, so in the world where you turn into an older version of himself, that means that the teenage version of himself, the older teenage version of himself, is in his body. So basically, he's getting the same exact thing that he was doing. Yeah, and then after that, he went to go to sleep, and apparently he went into an alternate world. And most likely the alternate world version of himself was in his body. Question mark. It's like, yeah, I don't know for sure. It's like, is everyone ping pong balling around? It's like, he could be in that body or he could be the older teenager. It's like, yeah, the one that actually has just a mom and dad who has bologna and ketchup sandwiches. Phew, man. It's like, yeah, I don't know. And then when he was 8 years old, it's like, yeah, where did that kid go to? It's like, does that mean every single time he jumps, he switched bodies with that person and the person that was affected by him before was back into his body? It kind of sucks too, where it's like, oh, then that means that he's going to have some freaking explaining to do when his parents get a call being like, your kid missed English. Actually, no, he made it English. He just skipped PE the rest of the day. He's like, he skipped half of the day. It's like, he what? It's like, I have no recollection of that. It's like 1 minute it's like, yeah, that's kind of sad thing of where it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks for him. He has to lie and say, I was having a messed up off day. It won't happen again. 10-year-old an 8-year-old has a different issue too. Yeah, where he actually skipped school again. So it's like, yeah, skip school half of the day. So the 8-year-old has to explain what's going on too. Well, sorry, the other version of himself with ketchup and bologna sandwiches has to do that. That's gonna suck. It's like, yeah, especially since they forced him to school. Oh man, they're gonna be strict parents. That poor version of himself is gonna get a whooping when he comes back home or when he wakes up. 8-year-old, I think he would be bored. It's like, yeah, 8-year-old version of himself was most likely going to be bored, being like, why am I in this world? What the hell? I closed my eyes and now I'm in this boring world. And it's like, yeah, so it's like, old man. Oh my gosh, the old man would freaking be happy, but like, oh, hip hop hooray. And it's like, no. Who knows? Maybe when it comes to the old man, same diff, where it's like the old man was like, oh, I'm young again. I'm sleepy though. And he just goes back to sleep. Oh my gosh, what about the 7-foot tall lizard monster? If he actually replaced his brain with it's like, is that the reason why the mom said, okay, you can have the freaking guest room, because the 7-foot tall monster was straight up rampaging and yelling at his mom to the point of where she got so intimidated that she put some thought into it and now he has the room. He goes back to his teenage version of himself again. So the teenage version most likely said that, and then within a day or 2 or 3, he did it again. Oh my gosh. Actually, no, I don't know this one. This one I don't understand. It's like, because it seems like he's still in a cage, so does that mean he reverted back into the teenage version? Or what, even worse, the teenage version of himself transported in that freaking cage, and as soon as he fell asleep, now the teenage version of himself is in that cage, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell is this? I just daydreamed it. I'm in this cage. What the... It's like, yeah, I kind of want to know what's going on with the other versions of himself. And what about the squirrel? What about the freaking squirrel? I think the squirrel, however, is different. Even though I'm pretty sure at this point, the squirrel either has his body, A, or B, and the squirrel's completely an idiot nut job. He's fine sharing the... It's like, you can't really say that, because then how come when it comes to the bully's body, it's like, yeah, the bully's body is B. Yeah, is a B, and why I'm afraid of bees. So yeah, it like technically that means that when it comes to body swapping and animals have nothing, then the bully, or basically the other guy who's a freaking popular dude, would just have a body in stasis, meaning that he's in a coma right now. So that's not the truth. That means that, yeah, it's most likely a chipmunk freaking squirrel issue with the mom is most likely totally freaking out at this point. And well, now he's a fat kid. So one fat kid woke up and he's like, I'm thin. Oh my gosh, I'm thin. Yes, yes, I'm thin. And then he reverts back and he's like, no, I had a body that was awesome for a minute. No. Oh man. But that's the good question, is like, with all these jumps, what was the effect of the others? It's like, I can understand now why the reality police is acting like this, being like, yeah, he's kind of disrupting other realities. Many of these were good boys. The monster, we don't give a shit about. The freaking squirrel, who cares? But the others were good boys, and now you kind of actually screwed up a day or 3 on them. Anyways, yeah, that's all I wanted to say, was just ask and say is these poor other versions of them, that kind of sucks. Anyways, have a scary day, have a scary night.